read to me the nameplate?
Judge Eboni K. Williams.
So the only thing that matters in this particular courtroom is how I see it. I am from North Carolina by way of Louisiana with some West Coast cool and a New York edge. Do we have a problem, ma'am?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
Equal justice is all about the most important values of our country: freedom, integrity, and those are the things that I'm striving for. Ma'am, you run your household, this man gets to run his. I decided to become an attorney and pursue the law. I wanted to be a voice for the voiceless. This court cannot hold this woman accountable. People from all sectors of life, black, white, purple, gay, straight, queer, and that's what equal justice with Judge Eboni K. Williams is all about.
Jordan Price claims creaking floorboards and flickering lights triggered his fear of ghosts and forced him out of his short-term rental. Dolores Reynolds says she used an app to check for paranormal activity, and nothing unusual was found.
I see I've got the plaintiff, Jordan Price, and my defendant here, Dolores Reynolds. Mr. Price, you are suing the defendant for $996. You cite both fraud and emotional distress. What brings you to court today?
She didn't advertise her rental property as haunted, and I stayed at this place, and now I'm suing her for half the stay and for $500 more for the emotional distress that I had experienced staying at her place.
How long was your original stay?
I was supposed to stay from the 24th to the 28th of October.
Okay, so it's supposed to be a 4-night stay?
Yes.
And you ended up staying for half that time?
Yes, correct.
And why is that?
Well, the first night I had experienced a very scary night. At night I heard some noises that was really creepy, and I felt that I just wasn't safe, and I felt like I was creeped out. And because
This
of
is
this,
up the first night?
for the first night, yes.
Okay, can you give the court a sense of what is creepy noises? What is that?
I heard some creakings, and I heard, and I could see the light flickering underneath while I was sleeping. I got woken up by this.
So you were seeing the flickering light, and you were hearing the creaks,
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Are you familiar with what he's talking about, ma'am?
I have had a few complaints in the past about creaking, but I've always assured the guests that it's just due to the floorboards. The house was built in the early 1900s,
Yes.
and it's the original floorboards.
Okay.
So when the temperatures change, they tend to contract and expand and make the noises.
Okay.
And the flickering lights is usually from like a loose bulb, which I did offer to replace
Okay.
during
so
the stay.
the creaking was maybe some gusty wind or just, environmental in nature is what you're saying.
Old house noises.
Old
yes,
house
correct.
noises. Okay. And then the flickering could have been an electricity outage or something like
loose
that?
bulb usually causes that.
Now,
yeah.
did any of that cross your mind, sir, that those could be reasonable, plausible explanations for what you were experiencing?
Your Honor, I am a writer. I have been writing for the last 2 years. I booked this place because I wanted some quiet and learning more about this Jacksonville. And I did look online, and I didn't see anything about this prior to booking this place. And the reviews online on her rental website hadn't mentioned anything about it being creepy, but afterwards I was able to find these other guests that have stayed at her place that have experienced such, and I wasn't the only one, so that's why I'm here today.
Now, you are also saying emotional distress, but surely you don't expect the court to feel that you were distressed because of some flickering lights and some creaky floorboards.
No.
What was giving you the distress, sir?
Well, I was really scared. I'm a really big guy, but...
Yes, I can see that. I didn't want to bring it up, but I mean, I think we're all kind of scratching our heads, sir, as to what you were so afraid of.
If you were there in my position alone at night and you couldn't sleep...
Well, I'm a G, so I don't know, it's not really, I mean, it's gonna take more than a little flacker to even get me out the bed. So no, I don't understand, sir. What are you talking about?
Well, I'm really scared of ghosts, and I felt like this
So
place
you
was...
think, so this is not just creaky floorboards and flickering. You're thinking this is paranormal activity.
Correct.
That's what I'm trying to get to. Okay, so let's get to the claim. Ma'am, he's saying that he felt that you misrepresented, essentially, your listing, that there was paranormal activity, also known as haunted, and that you did not disclose that. What is your defense to that, ma'am?
Well, the reason I don't have it listed as haunted in the listing is because it's not.
Okay.
I haven't had a professional service come and check the place out, but I have used an app called
Elijah, can you get go ahead and give all your evidence folder to my bailiff?
Apparition Watch is an app that my friend has used, and she has found supernatural activity in her house. So I used the same app in my home, and nothing was detected.
So let's start off by seeing what this home actually looks like. This is a very beautiful, picturesque. I mean, this looks straight out of a storybook, right?
Yes, yes.
And I can understand you say, so you're a writer. So this almost looks like a little retreat, like a little place you could go and gather your thoughts and have your creative juices flowing. Was that the thinking?
Correct, Your Honor. I'm not a ghostwriter, but I did figure that I wanted a place where it was quiet, and I was able to gather my thoughts and write thoughtfully, and this was the perfect place for me.
This is a perfect place. Now, I do want you to acknowledge, though, Mr. Price, that even looking at this house, which is quite quaint and cute, this is not new build construction. This house looks old.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
So what is it again, sir, that you were so afraid of?
Well, I felt like I was being watched, and I got woken up in the middle of the night, and it felt like someone was touching my face, and that really creeped me out. I'm really scared of ghosts.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with the case of Jordan Price, who is accusing Dolores Reynolds of renting him a haunted property.
I would expect a house that looked like this online to maybe have some, let's say, nooks and crannies.
Right.
Okay.
Your Honor, I heard some footsteps at night, and I also
You heard some footsteps at night?
Yes.
Now, you didn't say that part. Okay. So you heard footsteps at night. Hold on. Before we go further, I'm looking at the full listing. Let's look at the online listing of the home and see exactly what was represented to you. Let's see the interior, and let's see. Okay, so this is this app you're telling me about.
Yes.
Okay, so ultimately I see in the bottom it says nothing was detected, no
Correct.
anomalies.
Correct. It uses thermal imaging and radio waves to detect any supernatural activity.
Huh.
Yes.
This is fascinating. I see,
Yeah.
thermal scan. Okay, so this is going room by room, and I think you have another image as well that you were able to scan in the bedroom.
Yes.
And this also says no activities detected.
Correct.
Did you let the plaintiff know that you had done this work?
Yes, I had let him know that the noises that he was hearing were likely the floorboards.
Yes.
Additionally, footsteps could have been like a critter on the roof. It's in a very nature-based environment, so there are a lot of animals nearby.
Okay.
So that could potentially be a reason for the footsteps. But the property has been checked for safety many, many times and for paranormal activity, and nothing has ever come up.
Okay. And where did you say you got this app from again, ma'am?
The Apparition Watch, it was an app my friend uses. She actually does do ghost hunting, and she finds paranormal activity pretty frequently, and none has ever been detected in my property.
Okay, you know, I can't pretend to know a lot about that world, so I guess by way of ghost busting, if you will, this is as close as you can get.
Without being a professional service, yes.
Okay, although you might want to think about a professional service if you're continuing to get this type of feedback.
Sure.
But let me continue here. So you did reach out via text, sir.
Yes.
And you say to the defendant, I wanted to ask if anyone has mentioned the strange noise or flickering lights. Even you refer to it as a cottage, so again, kind of going to the quaint nature of the establishment. You say, I barely slept last night. Around 2 a.m., the lights started turning on and off in different rooms. I kept hearing what sounded like footsteps. And that's interesting that you say what sounded like footsteps, which could be a critter, possibly. I thought maybe someone else was on the property. You respond, a few other guests over the years have mentioned activity, but it's really just old house quirks. Sometimes lights flicker and floors creak as the temperature changes, as we discussed. I can swing by later and replace the bulbs if you like. You respond, odd activity sounds concerning. I wasn't expecting anything like this when I booked it. I'm here to work on writing projects. I need really quiet nights. Is it unsafe? And then you say that no. Again, you'll come over and try to make sure everything is fine. So you did not deem the property to be unsafe?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone ever been hurt on your property?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No.
So what is it again, sir, that you were so afraid of? What did you think was going to happen to you?
Well, I felt like I was being watched, and I felt like I got woken up in the middle of the night, and it felt like someone was touching my face, and that really creeped me out. I'm really scared of ghosts, and I'm not the biggest fan of Halloween, let's just say.
Okay, I can appreciate all of that, sir. But again, I kind of wondering, are we talking about you being it sounds like we're getting close to you having an unreasonable phobia, or like you're thinking an axe murderer or something is going to come in the middle of the night and kill you. Is that what you're telling the court?
Well, it's not unreasonable because it happens to me, and
that happens to you?
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
That I just have a phobia of ghosts and.
Do you have
fear.
documentation from a therapist or clinical professional to that effect?
I do not, but I do have the evidence here of other people that have experienced similar
Okay, give your
things.
whole folder, please, to Elijah.
I'm not sure Yelp reviews count as evidence, but.
Well, let me take a look here, and then I can determine whether or not I find these to be admissible.
It's going to be in the middle.
In the middle, okay. Well, first of all, this is important. This is where you paid, sir, for the full 4 nights.
Yes.
In the amount of $992.40. Okay, and that's how we got to this total. You want half of this plus $500 for emotional distress. That's
Correct,
your claim?
Your Honor. Yes.
Okay. I am seeing where you stayed in a hotel for 2 nights.
Yes, that's after I left the
cottage?
Yes.
Okay. And then I see that you are pulling these ads of other guests. Let me see what they say. I don't know, Miss Reynolds. It is saying that some of these guests were not so believing of hauntings until they stayed at your place, and then they changed their mind. Said they woke up because they felt thick air and felt like someone was standing over them. I then felt someone tap on my shoulder and no one was there. I told myself it was my imagination, but every night something strange happened. Now, that is a little creepy, ma'am. What do you say about that?
I just say it's an old house. It was built in the early 1900s. It's a house that has been in my family since my great-grandmother, so I know the house very well. I spent many holidays there as a child. No one in my family has ever noticed anything besides the noise.
But maybe that's because it's a friendly ghost and it knows y'all. And, because I'm looking at this, Elijah, this thing talking about somebody was caressing my cheek. No one else was there. I was still pretending to be asleep, and I could hear light breathing beside me.
Wow.
There's a lot of noises in old houses. I don't know how to.
Adorable place to stay, but too creepy for me. Heard steady knocking from the living room walls. It was unbearable. Even with someone else with me, I felt watch. I don't know, Mr. Price. Now this is starting to become a bit more believable.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
I do see that you asked about your refund. That was denied. And then I see you made a claim through your credit card company, and that was also denied.
This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with the case of Jordan Price, who is accusing Dolores Reynolds of renting him a haunted property.
This is several people acknowledging much more than just creaky floorboards. See what I'm saying? I do see that he has requested a refund, a partial refund from you, and he was trying to dispute the charges, and you denied the dispute?
Correct. In my listing, it says that there are no refunds once you've checked in.
Were you made aware of that, sir?
Yeah, Your Honor, it sounds like a scam to me. It just sounds like she knew about this paranormal activities and she never did anything about it or even listed it on her
Well,
property.
we can't say she never did anything about it. She did use the app.
And to prove that
But
there-
the court, to be clear, the court is still trying to decide whether that was enough on your part to justify some of this consistent feedback, ma'am. Because that is your responsibility as the property owner to make sure that everything, the dwelling is habitable.
Well, I do inspect between guests with this app, all
Yeah,
sorts
but I'm
of
not
days.
convinced totally, ma'am, that that app is enough when, as you even admitted to the court, there are more professional, more evidence-based services that can better assess really what's happening here in this home. I do see that you went to ask about your refund. That was denied. And then I see you made a claim through your credit card company, and that was also denied?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. And so you just want to be reimbursed for the 2 nights that you didn't stay?
Correct, Your Honor. I feel like that's fair, and I feel like Ms. Reynolds over here did not disclose this information, and I was not looking to be haunted by ghosts. I just wanted a peaceful place to write.
Well, here's the problem. I don't know that I'm convinced that her house is haunted. But I'm also not convinced, ma'am, that you have done absolutely all that you can within reason to ensure to your guest that they are not having some type of paranormal experience.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
There's a lot of online gossip about the noises. This is a town that really celebrates Halloween. Around this time, people get really hyped about paranormal activity.
This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with the case of Jordan Price, who is accusing Dolores Reynolds of renting him a haunted property.
If it was just his word, as you saw, and everybody in the court saw, I was quite skeptical. But
well, I would like to say that there's a lot of online gossip about the noises that always pops up every year.
Yeah.
This is a town that really celebrates Halloween, so around this time of year, people get really hyped about paranormal activity.
So here's my suggestion to you, ma'am. I can believe that. And if I'm you, I would do everything that I could avail myself to quiet that noise.
Right.
Pun intended, right?
Right.
Because this is a money-making venture for you, correct? I mean, if you're able to rent this thing out for, $200 some a night, that is, quite lucrative.
Yeah.
And if there are online reviews that may be rumor, may be true, we don't know, but that could undermine the attractiveness of your property, if as a businesswoman, I would want to quell that. I'm going to hold you accountable, sir, for the fact that you did agree to a 4-night stay. And it does say some indicators in this listing that should have put you on notice that there might be some issues. 1900s cottage, nestled in historic district, vintage charm. So you got to know what these code words mean, okay? Cozy retreat, all of this, okay? And it also says very plainly here, sir, all reservations are non-refundable after check-in. Did you check in?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so that would mean after that point that the refunds are not available to you. However, I do believe that you had some sufficient notice, ma'am, that there were considerable questions around your property and the possibility of ghost. Okay, I don't think all 5, 6 of these people are lying on this property.
Judge Eboni's verdict when Equal Justice returns. This is Equal Justice.
So I think that you could have done more. I think you did some, but I think you could have done more to make sure that indeed there was no speculation or rumor about the paranormal nature of your home. So here's what I'm going to do. Because, sir, you are asking for $996, but you did stay 2 nights.
Correct.
The court is going to say that you are each going to be partially responsible for the expenses incurred here. Therefore, I'm going to reimburse you, sir, for 2 of the nights, okay? But I'm not going to give you an award for emotional distress. You're a big grown man, okay? You're a grown person. And when you rent, knowingly, voluntarily rent a home that says early 1900s vintage charm, you should know some creeps. You should know some creaks and some flutters might come with that, okay? But you also can do better, ma'am, by way of due diligence. The court rules in favor of the plaintiff, but only a half award of his full demand of $996. The court will give you half of that. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you.
All rise.
Judge Eboni has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $498.
Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I feel like I deserve more, but we'll take this.
At least you got inspiration for your next book, I guess.
Okay, judge has made a ruling. Please grab your belongings. Follow me. Ladies first.
Thank you, sir.
Sir.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.